Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of Deep Guard. So, it's season 4 of the Banner of Shadow, and we are taking control over this rugged old mountain. So, today we're going to go for a couple of really important things. We're going to set up our farm. As we see here, the water is ready, and I'm going to explore around a little bit more thoroughly and see where our metals are at. Because at the end of the day, our job is to take control over the caverns as quick as we can. And a mandatory thing that has to happen before we can do so is that we take control over weapons or weapon grade material. Okay, so let's see what we're going to be up with today. What I found really interesting was that the city is now digging into a siltstone layer here. We had claystone all the way down, but now we got some siltstone. That's pretty nifty, isn't it? So let's check out what kind of stones we're going to use here. So limestone for the doors. We already have taken it like that. So probably I should do something like that. Maybe that's a too large one. And honestly, I think we should really do something like that, so we can fit more different stone types down here. That is too many stone types, and that is limestone. There we go. Give them some wheelbarrows, and repeat the process over here. Now for whatever stone we decide to pick up now. So, chalk. Yeah, definitely chalk. Chalk blocks? Why not? I mean, it is a nice color, but it does make terribly low amounts of sense to have your flooring made out of chalk stone blocks. That would be very dusty apartments. I don't like the idea of that. So, what else? Dolomite. We got a lot of different flux stones in this run. That's a pretty amazing thing to see. So, let's see. Yep, we're going to go for some dolomite on the side. And I'm going to order right away the dolomite block production. There we go. Let's get started with a meager 100 of these. Nothing too terribly insane. And we're going to call this now the Dolomite Quarry. Obviously, we need that. Here we go. So I will put my hotkey there, my primary hotkey. Here we're waiting for evaporation to happen. Then we can finally make our first farms. Good. Very good so far. I mean, the mining does get a little bit slowed down by the fact that we've got so many mining jobs currently. So that one is now configured for chalk. So we definitely should bring another one for dolomite. So many flux stones and economy value stones, so to speak. So I want wheelbarrows, and a lot of them. We got a lot of trees around here, so we can easily make that happen. We're going to store the timber of the fort now here. Like that. Let's see, is it still on the loot table here? No, it's not. Okay then. The farm is slowly drying, finally. So, going to need that chamber here as well. And last but not least, the farm plots. There we go. Damp stone located. Okay. But I bet that this corresponds directly with the wet tiles above, so that is just a fluke. False alarm. Alright. We definitely should bring in the siltstone stockpiles here as well. And hopefully that'll do the trick. To have at least the stuff that we are surrounded with currently available for ourselves. It's a nice wealth of stones. Problem about all this? Still not a sign of metals. So we're going to do some good old-fashioned probing today. That means we're going to excavate a pretty long corridor here over several layers. Just like this. Eventually, I'm afraid we will carve into the caverns there as well. So I will bring up a double door just for security here. Don't know. I feel a little bit safer this way. Okay, so far so good. Our biggest problem remains the fact that we are only 7 people. Okay. Let's give our friends some floors. I need to stop building with boulders and logs. There we go. Bars are okay though. So let's see, yeah. It's one cramped apartment. Just setting up the floors where the beds will go. Because it's impossible for me right now to get the job done otherwise. Alright, here go the wheelbarrows, making the job here a lot easier. Especially if we are only 7 people, we need that. Okay. Been a pretty big task, but they successfully carved out the entire storage level here. Almost, at least. And the city is also carved out. It's a decent job from our fledgling miners. Great miner, master miner, also a great miner. So, let's see. We're going to give our first Dwarf of the Day thing. So, Eton, that's our fighter girl. She's actually a woman. Ah, well. So, she's the person who's going to get the first weapons, and she's going to be the captain of the guard. So, let's take a look at her. And the symbol for the Deep Guard dwarfs will be the buying thingy here. I find that very fitting. So personality-wise, she's a very curious, sometimes to a detriment. She lives at a high-energy, kinetic pace. She often feels discouraged, and she thinks she's fairly important in the grand scheme of things. She takes offered help and gifts without feeling particularly grateful. What a charming person. She tends to make a small mess with her own possessions, and she's not particularly interested in what others think of her. She tends to share her own experiences, thoughts with others, and yeah, that's nothing special here. So, microcline, bronze, green tourmaline, green glass, oh yeah, that's a good one. Hemp fabric, bracelets, catapult parts, and the lyrics of reticence. She loves raspberry wine and she hates fire snakes. Who doesn't, Eton? Who doesn't? So, well, let's see. This whole expeditionary part will now literally take forever, as our miners are digging in very, very stupid ways. It's much smarter to let them do this one level at a time, but I really don't mind too much. Now, let's go and do the seed stockpile. There we go. So, no barrels, only seeds. Okay. Oh yeah, and another thing that we need to do is we need to delete this stockpile. Yep, you heard me right. The easiest way to redistribute the items on that stockpile is just to make the stockpile go away. And then people will just pick up the stuff that belongs into new stockpiles and carry it there, and the stuff that does not have any place yet will remain there and give me a good opportunity to find out what I'll need to take care of still. I like that. Okay, so let's see. We need to get back to the surface. That is a lot of rush. Whatever rush is. It's growing everywhere here. Rush flowers. I already mentioned at the beginning of the previous episode that I've never played the swamp biome before. Alright. So we're going to set up now what? That's a pretty difficult question for me. Ah yeah, the farming. So let's see, we're going to grow sweet pots on this one and plum helmets on any other season. We're going to grow pigtails on this one and plum helmets on any other season. We're going to grow... Let's see. Let's do pigtails twice because they're just so important for the grand economy of these places. And last but not least, a couple of quarry bushes so we have some edibles there as well, and plum helmets at the other times. Okay, so that means we're going to need a farmer's workshop, otherwise stuff won't work. And let's see, the dolomite flooring is being placed down. We have all the blocks that we require. Beautiful. Love to see that. Also love to see my dwarves scuttling around with those wheelbarrows. You do, you guys, and you're doing great at that. Okay, so let's place down some floorboards into the doorsteps, and then we're almost good to go for a couple of cozy bedrooms. There we go. I'm doing this because you can't place floors below beds anymore when they're placed down. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress kinks, you see.
You try and place a floor with a bed on it.
Well, and move the bed aside and then build the floor, and that's higher mathematics for the dwarves. See, my wife thinks it's perfectly normal to be unable to build floors, to be unable to build floors below beds. What do you think? Let me know. I'd be very, very interested. So, let's see. We got almost nothing carved out here. Oh, I did put them onto very low priority, didn't I? Huh. That's, as a matter of fact, good. So we can now re-manipulate their workings. That's good. What I thought would be stupid was actually really good in the end. Nice. Okay, food and drink stockpiles are looking pretty good. To my great relief, we're not plummeting in any aspect. That's good. And our farms are now up and running too. Or the first half of them. We're going to set up a second squad of farms later. Ooh, limonite. Limonite is not really something you can make lemonade out. It is something you make swords out of because it's iron. Love it. This means we're now past that initial hump. And we now know that wherever there's dolomite, there's also the sweet, sweet limonite. Half pun intended. So we're going to go and dig out the good stuff here and see how far it'll take us. Vein mining is early on a very, very dangerous task, as sometimes your dudes just go places they shouldn't. New arrival! So, Leacott, Silver Ransacked. Hailing from the Lone Anvil. This is a very, very long-standing member of our society. Year 105. Who else? Sarvish, Route Handles, the Doctor, a legendary glassmaker from the Lone Anvil himself as well. So this guy, these are all people that are trying to get the All-Star badge here, because Lone Anvil, Emerald Gorge, and the... wait a sec. The Guild of Handling, that's the... that's Tame Wild. So yeah, that one, all the fortresses. And last but not least, Likot and Sarvesh's daughter. She's an 8 years old, and obviously born in the year 113. So Emerald Gorge. I love to see that in this game you really grow your own dynasties. It's so good. I love that. You see the same people all over again and again, and you grow familiar with them. So who have we here? Daeduk Glowdwires, the carpenter, also a lone anvil person, around since the year 104. And Dodok, the dwarven child of Daeduk. So I assume that Kivish the Weaver is also around. I think Kivish, that rings a bell, that name. Born in the year 112, so an Emerald Gorgian as well. And Stukos, the other child of Daeduk and Kivish. Yeah, I know you guys. Somehow. You feel very, very familiar. So, Kivish, been around since the year 104. I welcome you all. We need to dig a few new rooms for you guys, but that is pretty much all the problems that I see with that. So, let's start with the digging task, I'd say. And then we really need to consider setting up some local things like temple and dining hall and tavern, you know, the basics. So that's 6 rooms, brings us to a 7. All right. And yeah, I do these very iffy shapes on purpose. It really makes your city look so much better in the end when you have not regularly shaped rooms all over the board. You can make them, of course, all the same shape. It's also pretty cool looking if you're into that. But I grew very, very tired of the look very fast. Okay. So, we got all that. Ha! They brought the anvil downstairs finally. It's quite the relief to me. And let's check back with our iron miners. So, yeah, they've been digging around quite a lot. Very cool. We got a lot of iron ore now available. Love it. So I think this place here needs a hotkey too. I really just like to have no hotkeys on my city pods. Okay. So with the rise of population, obviously we also need more food and everything, but one thing at a time. So obviously auto mining is in order here. But I take it as a great relief that we're very easily able to set up a whole apartment suite for the entire place here. I'll tell you what, we're taking it even further this time. We're digging out some extra rooms for the other folks who are not yet here. So, something like that. Let's just make a couple of rooms larger. High quality stuff here. The limestone doors really look nice. That white color on them, it's really well to the dark brown walls. That's what I've been hoping for when I planned that. One of the things I love the Steam version for, all that visualization, although we really need colored cavern floors for good, seriously. This should look like the walls. It's claystone cavern floor. It's not all blue tinted stuff normally. It really bothers me quite a lot, but it is what it is, I'd say. Alright. Almost there to declare a ton of new bedrooms. Nice. That's been a fast one. So let's see, we have 18 bedrooms, so we can accommodate quite a lot more people there. So we're going to set up now, while we're at it, a couple of communal needs. All the things you would require from a fort. So we struck some new goodies there. Nice. And the stuff here is growing already, and that reminds me that we need to process plants and process plants to bags. These are very, very important tasks. The one makes the quarry bushes edible, and the other one transforms pigtail into other useful things. Pigtail is not a part of an animal, it's a textile fiber. So that part's been dealt with. Nice. I'd say we're ordering our friends for another foraging round. This is one of the really, really powerful advantages of this biome. There is food everywhere. Swamps are really, really good in that regard. There's a couple of alligators. I love alligators. Strawberries, too. Very inclined to make a daylight farm here. I mean, with that, a patch of soil that is made to accommodate surface plants. Plants that require daylight, you see. Because the stuff that we're growing, that doesn't necessarily need daylight. Okay. So let's update our mining chores and see what we'll find there. We might have access to limonite already, but we still need to get ourselves coal going. As it stands right now, I don't have too much faith in this biome featuring bituminous coal or lignite, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Would be amazing if I'd be wrong about it. But instead, I'm going to go for a few more probing tunnels here. These are extremely valuable in two aspects. They give us stone to work with, and we also gather information about our environments. I like that. And there's always the occasional spawn of gemstone here. What's not to like about that? Alright. I love to see that Deepguard is on such a good streak here already. The best part is the risk is relatively low. Even if we accidentally breach into the caverns and awaken something really evil, we can just seal off this part of the mines entirely and stick to our safety with the rest of the fort. So I really, really don't mind them carving out deep and greedily. We're going to do this obviously on the western end of the map as well, rather sooner than later, to find out what we can discover there as well. For now, it's boulders of all colors that we need and use for our city. And given the fact that our farms are running, the kitchen is running, pretty much everything our city needs to survive is already intact, we can safely go for some mining adventures. So, I was also pondering about the surface presentation of Deepguard, but according to its goal, I think I'll keep the surface footprint very, 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 very meager. I think I will do a fortification that will host traders, so we can get wagons in there and all, because I expect this place to turn into a barony eventually too. But apart from that, I think I'll be not doing a surface castle or anything. This would be not what this fort is all about. We're all about taking control of the depths and not about the surface. So something robust and strong. It should be though. Nevertheless, after all, we're building a dwarf fortress, so it should be something dwarvish, but not a big castle this time. I don't envision the people of the Banner of Shadow visiting this fortress on the surface way at all. I mean, it's in the middle of a swamp. No, this fortress is meant to be accessed via the subterranean. This is going to be the tunnel network, the central hub for the tunnel network, and it will be super. If you take the roleplay thoroughly, it would be extremely hard to conquer. How the hell are you supposed to field an army into the middle of the swamps? Simple, you don't, unless you're fielding an army of lizardmen. But that's an entirely different story. So, altogether, narrative-wise, I like the idea. Not that the game does reward any of my sweet ideas, but you guys do. So, let's see how things are working on out down here. So much iron. And Eton is taking the fight with a capybara. So, do I need to gear you up with the weapons that I brought you? Yeah, is that the case? She's out for blood, I tells you. So we're going to disable the Fisher Dwarf job on Eton. I don't want her to risk her life unnecessarily. It's just no good. Alrighty there. That quarry here I want to dig out very, very thoroughly. As this is not only dolomite, this is also limonite. Oh boy. This is where our real wealth is residing. Okay, brilliant. So let's get back to this place. So we got 100 pieces of dolomite flooring already. Nice. So we're going to go and floor the entire apartment tract. And I'm going to announce this to be our temple. As far as I remember, these guys really were extremely simple people. They only revere a very, very low amount of gods. We have one god for mountains, and there are other gods for the Banner of Shadow people, but like 90% of them revere Erdem, the god of mountains, and that's that. I've had way more exciting religious adventures in my previous series, but I think you can't have it all every time, obviously. Okay. So, why is the capybara such a problem? And why is the doctor transforming this thing into gore just with his blank hands? What kind of a doctor are you? Alright, the capybara officially perished now, because our doctor punched it to death. Okay, Dr. Murder. Let's announce a corpse stockpile so we can get the capybara remains outside before they start to stink. So, but in all honesty, what are my miners busy with right now? Ah, smoothing walls, obviously. It's like crack, only for dwarves. You tell them to smooth a wall and the entire fortress be like, okay, boss. You don't assign the jobs otherwise they're like, it's like their biggest joy in life. Nothing has almost no jobs have a higher priority than smoothing. And yeah, we struck the caverns, boss. So caverns tier 1, we did it, friends. At least that. The first of our many goals is up ahead of us. So we're going to have to build here now impromptu. So we're going to use closest materials only. There we go. Look at these chats. Immediately hauling the boulders and sealing off the problems that they created. That's what I love. So, yeah, good news. Caverns tier 1 discovered, friends. So we're going to continue this on another occasion, because this episode is almost at its end, sadly. Why are there withered quarry bushes? Ah, yeah, I know why. Because my planter was too much busy with other things. There we go. So, thanks for watching, you all. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did, as I almost always have when I'm playing Dwarf Fortress. It's not easy not to have a good time with this game. And yeah, I hope you leave a thumbs up on that video, consider subscribing, and in the description box you can find the playlist link to the entire Banner of Shadow saga with 3 completed fortresses, this one being currently recorded, or you check out the Savage Lands saga, which has a lot of other fortresses as well. Among these I feature a couple of mega projects like an ocean bridge or a forest drenched in lava. Fun things, you know. So check them out, and if you'd be so kind, drop an eye on the Patreon, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or YouTube membership systems. These are all really cool ways to support the channel, and I'd be delighted if you'd give them a chance. That all being said, big thanks to all of you who are supporting Icon Gaming, and a big thanks to you for watching this video up until the very end. I deeply appreciate it. See you all next time. Bye bye.